Well, as we're heading into our Wednesday, still expecting those feels like temperatures passing the triple-digit mark once again as we're heading into the afternoon. Thanks to all of that humidity in the atmosphere, going to be important to find ways to stay cool today. We'll have a closer look at that beach forecast for you. That's coming up.
I'm Stephanie Molina in Odom. Two big issues on Tuesday's City Council meeting was discussed: animal control and the possibility of bringing back the police department. I'll break it down.
The shortcut to making a quick version of Polish pierogies is using an Italian twist. It's the best of two worlds.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for waking up with the Hoffmans. I'm Michelle Hoffman.
And I'm Brian Hoffman.
Well, howdy and happy Wednesday. Coastal Bend, taking a look at some of our weather headlines as we're heading out there. Still expecting those partly cloudy skies as we're heading into the afternoon. Could start to see a couple of those stray showers once again, but I don't expect them to be quite as prominent as what we experienced yesterday. Keep in mind, though, rain chances are going to be on the rise as we're heading into this weekend. We're watching that for that next plume of tropical moisture working into the area. That's going to lead to some more scattered showers leading back into the radar. As we go through our Wednesday, though, we're going to see plenty of sunshine like we talked about. Temperatures going back into the 90s as we're heading into the afternoon, expecting about 93 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Winds out of the southeast pretty similar to what we've been experiencing all week, about 10 to 15 miles an hour out of the southeast. And as we go through the rest of the day, like we talked about, maybe a stray shower or two into the afternoon, although those rain chances going to be towards the bottom of the board still as we're heading into today. The main rain chance we're going to be tracking is heading into this weekend. But of course, that future tracker going to show you what you might be able to expect going into later today. We'll have a closer look at that for you. That's coming up in a few more minutes. Well, taking a look at some of our traffic tips before you hit the road this morning. Keep in mind, still those lane closures along 77 to the south of Kingsville. Also keep in mind, going to see some lane closures on the Harbor Bridge tonight, 181 southbound, as we're heading from about 9 p.m. through 6 a.m. Either way, hoping you have a great, safe commute.
I'm Stephanie Molina in Odom, where city leaders shared updates on a couple of issues we've been following, including efforts to improve animal control services and whether the city could bring back the police department. Here's what happened on Tuesday's City Council meeting. One of the first items discussed and what appeared to spark the most debate
We got the sheriffs. It's the same thing. No, it's the same thing. No, it's not.
Was whether Odom could bring back its own police department and hire a police chief.
Just having one police officer, the DPS will no longer help investigate traffic accidents within the city limits. So we would need a second officer to help approve accident reports.
In February 2024, the city retired Odom Police Chief Gerardo Ochoa. Since then, bringing back the police department has been discussed during other city council meetings, but with the city still working through its financial challenges, council members have now taken a vote on moving forward with the idea.
At this point, I think we really need to kind of step back and see what those new regulations are before we jump in and start hiring people.
No action was taken on the police department discussion, as council members said they wanted to explore a city marshal option similar to other Coastal Bend communities. The council then moved forward with the renewal of its interlocal agreement with San Patricio County.
But this new agreement is strictly a continuation of human bites call only.
Following my reporting on residents' concerns about roaming dogs, after some neighbors told me their pets and livestock have been killed, Mayor David Maldonado says he's working on ways to address the problem and making it his priority.
We will see over the next year or so if what the county is doing for us, if it's something that we can fiscally take on the responsibility and hire an individual to handle these kinds of situations.
If you want to learn more as to what was discussed during the meeting, head over to our website at KRISTV.com. In Odom, I'm Stephanie Molina, KRIS 6 News.
One of Texas's most recognizable politicians could possibly be in line for a much bigger role. I decided to take a deeper dive into President Donald Trump's comments talking up Senator Ted Cruz as speculation swirls over a possible future opening on the U.S. Supreme Court.
It's not every day a sitting Texas senator is mentioned as a possible Supreme Court justice, but that's exactly what happened this week when President Trump praised Senator Ted Cruz during a speech about the Trump accounts, suggesting Cruz would have little trouble getting confirmed if a seat on the nation's highest court opened up.
In fact, somebody said, would you ever appoint him to the United States Supreme Court? Because he's a brilliant lawyer, Ted.
They said, well, he's the only one I can think of that's going to get 100 votes.
Trump even joked that Democrats might support Cruz's nomination.
All Democrats will vote for him because they want to get him the hell out of the Senate.
The comments come as NPR put out an article about Justice Samuel Alito preparing to step down before immediately retracting it. And the Supreme Court now has announced no plans for a vacancy. If one does open during Trump's presidency, Cruz could be among the names under consideration. Trump has already appointed 3 Supreme Court justices during his first term: Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, helping cement the court's conservative majority.
For Texans, it's a reminder that one of the state's own could possibly eventually be nominated to one of the most influential positions in the country. But for now, Ted Cruz remains in the Senate. Any future nominations, well, that depends on the Supreme Court actually becoming available.
A stomach bug that can linger for weeks is making more people sick this summer. Several states, including Texas, are reporting unusual spikes in Psychospora infections. As we reported, Nueces County has the highest amount of cases in the Lone Star State.
And the illness is actually caused by a parasite that spreads through contaminated food or water. It's often linked to pools and lakes or raw produce, including berries, herbs, and salad mixes. Experts recommend washing produce under running water, washing hands before food prep, and seeing a doctor if diarrhea lasts more than a few days.
Kingsville ISD is hosting a job fair today, and the school district will be hiring for all positions. This includes high school and elementary assistant principals. The event kicks off at 3 p.m. and lasts until 7, and it will take place at the KISD boardroom. Be sure to bring your driver's license, resume, and social security card for on-site interviews and potential position offers.
The city will host its next litter critter cleanup event this Saturday. Runs from 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon over at Flower Bluff High School. You can drop off heavy brush, bulky items, household trash, and up to 4 tires. You must be ready to unload your own items, though. Hazardous waste and concrete will not be accepted.
The U.S. was chosen as a host country for World Cup games this year, and Houston was one of the host cities with 2 World Cup games being played there. With the last game in the city wrapping up this past weekend, the World Cup branding has now been removed from the NRG Stadium, home of the Houston Texans. One more game will be played in Texas at AT&T Stadium in Arlington on July 14th.
This is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm. Car wreck? Heil will help.
A year after leaders announced plans to pursue a state veterans nursing home for the Coastal Bend, many veterans are asking, where does the project stand? The answer comes down to one thing officials still need.
We're in the works with that. We got a lot of things on behind the scenes.
Last year, there was excitement surrounding plans to bring a state veterans nursing home to the Coastal Bend, a facility that would provide specialized long-term care for veterans closer to home.
We need a home for our veterans, and we need to continue promoting that.
Nueces County Commissioners approved a resolution supporting the effort in June of 2025. The resolution allowed the county to begin pursuing the project, but there are still steps that have to happen before a state veterans nursing home could come to the Coastal Bend. Nueces County must submit a proposal through the Texas Veterans Land Board, and one of the biggest requirements is securing a qualifying piece of land.
The land has to be perfect, right? So we have to have 30 acres within 25 miles of our nearest VA facility. On top of that, the land has to be safe and secure.
Last year, J.J. De La Cerda said the county hoped to submit its application this year, but that deadline came and went.
May I pry? So I understand that there was an original deadline of April of this year.
Sure.
What happened?
Well, so there's a lot going on. The land itself, it's hard to obtain land, especially of that nature, right? 30 acres that someone is willing to give up at no cost. So we've been working on that behind the scenes, but it's really just the amount of land and the location.
De La Cerda says the goal now is to submit the application by next April. If the project is selected, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs would cover 65% of construction costs, while the Texas Veterans Land Board would cover the remaining 35%. Until then, veterans in the Coastal Bend who need this type of long-term care often travel to state veterans homes in McAllen or Floresville.
Are there any key spots that you guys have identified?
We're looking around the VA clinic area. There's a lot of land there that's farmland that potentially could be available. Some land on 44, There's other land over by Flower Bluff, but of course we want to make it centralized so that all of these veterans can utilize that facility.
Now, folks, you may be wondering, what are the benefits of a state veterans home? Well, the Veterans Land Board says these homes can help reduce the cost of care, including medication and therapy, while also giving veterans the opportunity to live among others with similar experiences. Veterans with a 70% or higher service-connected disability can generally qualify to live in the home at no cost. And employees also receive specialized training to better understand the unique needs of veterans. And folks, as you may know, I'll continue following this effort as it moves forward. For updates on this and other stories on our local veterans, just scan the QR code on your screen. It will take you to our Veterans in Focus section on our website. A certain music icon is headed from the Smoky Mountains to New York City.
That's right. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
I can officially announce that Dolly, a true original musical, is coming to Broadway.
You heard it from the source. The musical about Dolly Parton's life, loves, losses, and finding her way heads to Broadway in December. The music legend says it includes some of her biggest hits and new songs Parton wrote for the show. More info at dollymusical.com. New music from U2. Street of Dreams is from the band's first new studio album in 9 years. They shot the video in Mexico City in May. The album, no title announced yet, is due out later this year. In September, it'll be 50 years since U2 formed in Dublin.
Hey, you and I can heal the past. And together, we can build a new world.
Welcome to Team Avatar.
Return to the Four Nations with Avatar Aang, the Last Airbender. Aang and his friends learn of an ancient power that could save his culture from extinction or shatter the peace they worked so hard to build. The original movie debuts July 25th on Paramount+. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Is he attractive?
Watching Chris 6, a part of the Scripps News Group.
Being married to a nice Polish girl for more than 20 years, you can bet I've learned a thing or two about pierogies. Now, just in case you aren't familiar with them, let me fill you in. They're kind of like a ravioli. Most of the time they're stuffed with mashed potatoes, but we can also find one stuffed with sauerkraut, meat, or cheese. After they're boiled, they're usually pan-fried with butter and onions. At our house, we still make them from scratch around the holidays, but we've come up with a casserole version that's super easy when we want a quick pierogi fix. We start by cooking some lasagna noodles, just like normal. While they drain, we'll make our filling by sauteing some onions in butter until they're golden. Once they are, we'll mix those with some mashed potatoes, along with some cheddar cheese and a bit of black pepper. Now all that's left to do is layer our noodles with the filling, just like you would if you were making lasagna. It's a lot easier making a pierogi casserole than it is folding individual pierogies one by one. Once it's baked off, top it with the rest of the onions and get ready for a tasty casserole that will have your family asking for seconds. And they'll never know how easy it was. I hope you'll go online and get a recipe for pierogi lasagna so you can enjoy the old world taste without all the work. I'm Howard with Patty in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where every day we're looking for a quicker way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Oh, was that good?
Well, taking a look at our future tracker as we're heading through our Wednesday out there, you can see how we're going to start to see more of that sunshine, especially into the afternoon. Already starting to see a couple of bubbles pop up on the radar as we're heading in towards that lunchtime hour, and then moving inland as we start to head through the afternoon hours. Not quite as prominent as what we experienced for our Tuesday afternoon, but still something you might see pretty quickly as we're heading out there for our Wednesday afternoon. But keep in mind, it's going to be those showers might rain on you pretty quickly, and then 30 minutes later, you're going to have plenty of sunshine overhead once again. Into tonight, all of that dry dries up and temperatures back down into the 70s for most of us. 80s right there along the coast. Either way, we're feeling the humidity across the entire coastal bend. And then pretty much that rinse and repeat as we're heading into our Thursday afternoon. One or two of those bubbles popping up on the radar, but the better rain chance is still going to reside with this weekend as we're heading out there. That's where we're tracking the next better chances for rain with that plume of tropical moisture. More scattered showers expected back on the board as we're heading through Friday into Saturday. Things start to dry up by Sunday, but either way, daytime highs still in the 90s.
President Trump is expected to arrive in Turkey this morning for a high-stakes NATO summit.
As NBC's Alice Barr explains the Ukraine war, that's expected to be a focus.
President Trump traveling to Turkey for a critical NATO summit amid a renewed push to end Russia's war on Ukraine. Overnight, Ukraine released new video of drone attacks on military targets in Russia. After at least 22 Ukrainians were killed Monday in a wave of Russian strikes on Kyiv. President Trump is set to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky at the summit, following calls with both Zelensky and Russian President Putin over the weekend, saying both want the war to end.
We're going to be talking about it, and I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it ended.
Russia has now launched 2 deadly bombardments in less than a week. The death toll chilling evidence of Ukraine's dwindling missile defenses, something they'll keep pushing NATO for this week. Zelensky has frequently pointed to delays in restocking military supplies.
You see what does it mean when the packages come to Ukraine slowly.
Part of the problem, the war with Iran has raised concerns American resources are strained, though the White House is adamant the military has what it needs. That conflict also testing President Trump's relationship with NATO's European allies, who he slammed for not doing enough to back the U.S. against Iran, and is again pressuring to boost their defense spending, something European officials insist they've done, hoping now for new U.S. commitments on Ukraine, with tensions high. President Trump posted overnight that the U.S. military has never been stronger, but that Congress must pass $350 billion in defense spending to keep it that way. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We're watching Chris 6, a part of the Scripps News Group.
A citywide prayer event is happening tonight at Cole Park. Local pastors and priests are gathering to give thanks for recent rain that delayed a level 1 water emergency. The congregations will also pray for more rain to come. Sheriff J.C. Hooper and Mayor Paulette Guajardo plan to attend the gathering. The event starts at 6 tonight and is open to the public. The prayer service is expected to last about an hour. A big honor for Corpus Christi Downtown Management District. They received the 2026 Main Street America Accreditation. It's the highest national honor for community-based downtown revitalization. This achievement puts Corpus Christi in an elite group of just 838 nationally recognized programs out of over 1,600 communities in the Main Street network. The recognition comes as downtown continues to attract new businesses and visitors from across Texas.
Our programming has grown exponentially, and the programming isn't just for downtown, the programming is for the city as a whole. We really are on the right track here. We have great momentum, and we would love to continue that.
The Main Street America Accreditation recognizes the Downtown Management District's success in bringing new businesses and programming to the area. The DMD's executive director says she hopes this national recognition will help continue downtown's ongoing revitalization efforts.
Well, howdy and happy Wednesday, Coastal Bend. Taking a look at our forecast as we're heading out there later this afternoon, expecting that daytime high around 93 degrees. Could see a few showers on the radar once again out there, but overall they're going to be pretty quick moving as they pass through the area. Into tonight, still those partly cloudy skies and definitely that air you can wear feeling. Temperatures back down into the mid 70s, expecting about 75 here in Corpus Christi, maybe even as high as 80 degrees there towards Port Aransas. As we're heading into tomorrow, 92 degrees still on the board and not expecting quite as many showers showers, but could still run into one or two of those stray showers in the afternoon. A little bit of that rinse and repeat forecast still this week, but the better rain chance is going to be on the way as we're heading into the weekend. But in terms of that moisture in our atmosphere, that's going to help the feels like temperatures cross that century mark once again, expecting about 104 to 105 degrees as we're heading out later this afternoon, and through the next few days the heat's not really going anywhere. Might see a slight dip thanks to that rain-cooled air as we're heading into the weekend. Speaking of those rain chances, we'll talk a little bit more about those coming up in a few more minutes.
Good morning, everyone. You are waking up with the Hoffmans today. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. Folks, it is Wednesday, made it halfway through the work week. So let's check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones to see what our forecast looks like today.
Well, starting us off with our future tracker and what to expect for our Wednesday as we're heading out there, could already start to see a couple of those bubbles popping up on the radar as soon as the lunchtime hour, and then of course moving inland as we head through the afternoon hours. Not expecting quite as many as what we saw yesterday, but still could see one or two of those stray showers of course into the afternoon. Want you to be prepared for it either way. If you do find yourself under one of these quick downpours, it's going to be there 30 minutes later, it's going to be gone, and you're going to have plenty of that sunshine back overhead. Going into tonight, all of that activity starts to dry up, and we're still holding on to plenty of humidity. Temperatures back down into the 70s for overnight lows for most of us, maybe even those lower 80s right along the coast. Going into tomorrow afternoon, still on that rinse and repeat pattern for right now. Temperatures into the 90s, one or two light showers showing up on the radar tomorrow, but then as we head into Friday and Saturday, that's where we're tracking our next plume of tropical moisture and better rain chances. For our wind forecast today, still pretty light, about 15 to 20 miles an hour in terms of those peak gusts, but either way, we're holding on to plenty of heat. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Well, starting us off with some of those traffic tips before you hit the road this morning, something to keep in mind as we're heading into tonight. Going to see more of those lane closures along 181 southbound near Beach Avenue from about 9 p.m. through 6 a.m. going into tonight. Either way, hoping you have a great and safe Wednesday morning commute.
I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Jacob Daniels, and this gas station wasn't even here a year ago. Now homes are built, people are moving in, but one piece of this neighborhood is still on the way.
This is Spoonbill Bay, a growing development along Highway 361 in Port Aransas, where developers used a special zoning tool to bring the area's first gas station and convenience store to a stretch of highway that's never had one.
Because we realized that all that traffic coming in, just like the 4th of July, it was backed up this last Friday and Saturday. This gives them an opportunity to have a little rest stop, to get fuel before you get back on the traffic.
It'll have 8 pumps, 16 hoses, and even a car wash, something you won't find for miles in either direction. And while the convenience store is starting to draw attention, it's just the beginning. Just down the street, families can already call Spoonbill Bay home.
We've now constructed 12 homes. We've sold one of them, and we have one under contract as of last week. So we're still sitting on some, but we're starting to get some momentum.
While coastal properties typically run $700 to $800 per square foot, developer Willard Hammond says they're bucking that trend.
Our pricing is close to about $550 a foot. In comparison in the area, you'll see a number of our competitors that are closer to $700 or even $800 a foot.
But the development's crown jewel is still taking shape, Spoonbill Lagoon. However, it's still under construction.
It'll have a lazy river, it'll have a pool, a swim-up bar that connects them. It'll have a kids pool with slides and a splash pad, food and drink options.
As far as the ongoing drought conditions, developers say they've even thought about their future water use, installing private wells and water capturing AC units throughout the development, and they said the lagoon is set to open by spring break of 2027.
You can now move into Spoonbill Bay. However, the water park is what you're still going to have to wait on. Reporting in Port Aransas, I'm Jacob Daniels, Chris 6 News.
Corpus Christi ISD named a new director of student health services ahead of the upcoming school year. Leah Watson has served 15 years. She has experience as a registered nurse and 14 years experience in pediatric nursing. Watson replaces Veronica Sisk, who retired last month. CCISD returns to school on August 11th.
Now, 20 minutes of nonstop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Right now on Chris 6, the water crisis in the Coastal Bend is raising questions from residents across the area. A breakdown on why desalination is one of the biggest items on the table.
I'm Stephanie Molina in Odom. Two big issues on Tuesday's City Council meeting was discussed: animal control and the possibility of bringing back the police department. I'll break it down.
Hey everyone, I'm Larissa Liska at Veterans Memorial High School's baseball field, where the Eagles will be looking for a new head coach this offseason. Plus, it's World Volleyball Day, how the CC Rattlers are hosting a tournament to raise money for players in sports.
Well, hey there and happy Wednesday, Coastal Bend. Take a look at our forecast as we're heading out today. Expecting 93 degrees here in Corpus Christi for the daytime high this afternoon. Could run into a few showers, of course, as we're heading out there later today, but overall they're still going to be quick moving in nature and not really amount to much in terms of meaningful rainfall for the entire area. Into tonight, those partly cloudy skies and still plenty of humidity in the atmosphere. Temperatures into the mid-70s out there, and then tomorrow still a little bit of the rinse and repeat pattern. 92 here in Corpus Christi, partly cloudy skies overhead, and maybe one or two of those stray showers starting to become a little bit less in coverage as we head into tomorrow, but better rain chances are on the way as we're heading into the weekend. Either way, even though temperatures are in the 90s, the feels like temperature, what our body experiences, closer to those triple digits as we're heading out this afternoon thanks to that humidity. And through the next few days, like we talked about, the heat's not going anywhere, but the rain chances are going to be on the rise. By Friday into Saturday, expecting more of those scattered thunder showers back on the radar before it dries up next week. Either way, daytime highs still in the 90s.
I'm Stephanie Molina in Odom, where city leaders shared updates on a couple of issues we've been following, including efforts to improve animal control services and whether the city could bring back the police department. Here's what happened on Tuesday's City Council meeting. One of the first items discussed and what appeared to spark the most debate
We got sheriffs. It's the same thing. No, it's the same thing. No, it's not.
was whether Odom could bring back its own police department and hire a police chief.
Just having one police officer, the DPS will no longer help investigate traffic accidents within the city limits. So we would need a second officer to help approve accident reports.
In February 2024, the city retired Odom Police Chief Gerardo Ochoa. Since then, bringing back the police department has been discussed during other city council meetings, but with the city still working through its financial challenges, council members have not taken a vote on moving forward with the idea.
At this point, I think we really need to kind of step back and see what those new regulations are before we jump in and start hiring people.
No action was taken on the police department discussion, as council members said they wanted to explore a city marshal option similar to other Coastal Bend communities. The council then moved forward with the renewal of its interlocal agreement with San Patricio County.
But this new agreement is strictly discontinuation of human bites call only.
Following my reporting on residents' concerns about roaming dogs, after some neighbors told me their pets and livestock have been killed, Mayor David Maldonado says he's working on ways to address the problem and making it his priority.
We will see over the next year or so if what the county is doing for us, if it's something that we can fiscally take on the responsibility and hire an individual to handle these kinds of situations.
If you want to learn more as to what was discussed during the meeting, head over to our website at christv.com. In Odom, I'm Stephanie Molina, Chris 6 News.
One of Texas's most recognizable politicians could possibly be in line for a much bigger role. I decided to take a deeper dive into President Donald Trump's comments talking up Senator Ted Cruz as speculation swirls over a possible future opening on the U.S. Supreme Court.
It's not every day a sitting Texas senator is mentioned as a possible Supreme Court justice, but that's exactly what happened this week when President Trump praised Senator Ted Cruz during a speech about the Trump accounts, suggesting Cruz would have little trouble getting confirmed if a seat on the nation's highest court opened up.
In fact, somebody said, would you ever appoint him to the United States Supreme Court? Because he's a brilliant lawyer, Ted. I said, well, he's the only one I can think of that's going to get 100 votes.
Trump even joked that Democrats might support Cruz's nomination.
All Democrats will vote for him because they want to get him the hell out of the Senate.
The comments come as NPR put out an article about Justice Samuel Alito preparing to step down before immediately retracting it. And the Supreme Court now has announced no plans for a vacancy. If one does open during Trump's presidency, Cruz could be among the names under consideration administration. Trump has already appointed 3 Supreme Court justices during his first term: Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, helping cement the court's conservative majority.
For Texans, it's a reminder that one of the state's own could possibly eventually be nominated to one of the most influential positions in the country. But for now, Ted Cruz remains in the Senate. Any future nominations, well, that depends on the Supreme Court actually becoming available.
Hey there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Stephanie Lauber, and I recently received an interesting email from Henry, a neighbor in Riviera, asking about our ongoing water crisis here in the Coastal Bend. Here's what Henry wrote.
Why is everyone so hung up on desalination as the answer? Given the detrimental consequences of this proposed solution, I just can't help but wonder why they do not consider cloud seeding.
That's a great question, Henry. So let me explain what cloud seeding is and whether it could help solve our water crisis. Think about how water condenses when you crack open a cold soda can on a hot summer day. The same process creates clouds. Water vapor in the air will condense onto little particulates of dust, smoke, soot, and salt. Together, these tiny cloud droplets can make a visible cloud. Cloud seeding aims to take it one step further, enhancing rainfall. Think of it like giving Mother Nature a little nudge. Using airplanes, tiny particulates are released into clouds. Here in Texas, those particles are usually silver iodide or calcium chloride, a food-grade salt. Inside the cloud, you have supercooled water droplets. That's water that's colder than 32 degrees, but it's still liquid. When these droplets bump into the artificial seeds, they coalesce or grab onto the seed. Typically, the water droplets will freeze on contact. This process is a form of condensation, and it releases heat into the atmosphere, creating a chain reaction. That keeps the process going. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation monitors cloud seeding operations. One study in West Texas tracked cloud seeding for 10 years. The results? Rainfall increased by 8 to 20%. That's about 2 extra inches of rain per year. The entire 10-year project cost about $1.5 million. The TDLR has a copy of a recent cloud seeding event here in South Texas from 2025 on its website. So I reached out to the contact provided for the South Texas Weather Modification Association for an update on the latest cloud seeding projects. I got a response saying the company I contacted does not operate in Texas. So I reached out to the state for another contact and to learn about more recent operations. As of Tuesday evening, I have yet to receive a response. So Henry, here's the reality. Cloud seeding can help, but alone can't solve our water crisis. You still need clouds to seed, and during severe droughts, when we need water the most, we often don't have enough storm activity to make it effective. That's why desalination, despite its challenges, is a more productive source of water to the Coastal Bend than cloud seeding.
Stacking coupons, the way Mom used to do, is not a thing of the past just yet. Sure, a lot of those coupons are digital now, but some stores, like Kohl's, still allow you to stack deals, which can mean some really big savings.
Carrie Edwards makes a sport out of finding deals at Kohl's.
It's on sale today, 40% off.
First, she hunts for markdowns, then stacks Kohl's cash and extra coupons to pile on the savings.
And then they'll send you emails when something special's going on.
We have 40% off our Grand Slam, so these are some golf polos.
Kohl's store manager Cooper Osborne says start by joining Kohl's Rewards, which earns 5% back on store purchases.
Every time you're a rewards member, you do get additional coupons.
Then build up Kohl's cash.
You can earn Kohl's cash for a future purchase.
Savvy shoppers stack store markdowns, Kohl's Rewards discounts, Kohl's cash, and paper or digital coupons. That can mean 4 discounts in one transaction.
So you can use all that stuff together and you're going to get as much savings as you possibly can.
Stacking works at Target, too. Target accepts a manufacturer coupon with a Target store offer. Then shoppers can save another 5% with a Target Circle card. At CVS, shoppers can use a manufacturer and CVS coupon on the same item, or stack 2 coupons for $3 off 15 on purchases of $30 or more. Stephanie Carls with Retail Me Not says the key to coupon stacking is knowing each store's rules. Some retailers like Walmart have a strict 1 coupon per item policy.
Once you know which discounts can work together, then you stop leaving those easy combinations behind.
Edwards got these sunglasses for next to nothing.
My sunglasses were $22 and I paid $8 for them.
So stack those deals so you don't waste your money. John Mattery, Scripps News Group.
The city of Corpus Christi encouraging pet adoptions. City's Animal Care Services is waiving all pet adoption fees through July 26. And ladies and gentlemen, hope for my case, there are no big fluffy dogs. As part of Bristle Pet Foundation's nationwide Empty the Shelters campaign, the foundation is sponsoring adoption fees. If you're interested in adopting a pet, you can visit Animal Care Services shelter Monday through Saturday from noon to 4:30.
Hey everyone, I'm Larissa Liska at the Veterans Memorial High School baseball fields. The Eagles program will now be looking for a new head coach this offseason because Lee Yeager has been announced as the new baseball head coach and assistant athletic director for the Beeville Trojans.
A new adventure for us, and maybe just a new chapter for me and another challenge just to go in there and try to see if I can elevate that program.
Yeager leaves Veterans Memorial after 11 seasons. He led the Eagles to the state semifinal in 2018 and multiple playoff appearances. He has 33 years of head coaching experience and over 700 career wins.
I think one of the things that was really intriguing was the assistant AD job. I'm really looking forward to helping young coaches.
Beeville has a lot to be excited about, such as turf fields and a soon-to-be built indoor athletics facility. Now they've got an experienced coach like Yeager ready to compete in a district against Alice, Calallen, Tolosa Midway, H.M. King, and Robstown.
It seemed like they're willing to do whatever they want to get me there, and I was excited to be able to do that. So I'm not leaving here for any reason other than just this is a better opportunity for me and my family.
Everybody ready to go have some fun? All right, let's go. To celebrate July 7th, World Volleyball Day, the CC Rattlers held a 3-on-3 tournament for high school players.
You know, we have a lot of clubs popping up around the Coastal Bend, making sure kids get the opportunity to make a travel team or a club team. Some teams, they just have, practices and clinics that, give every girl in the Coastal Bend an opportunity to touch a volleyball.
8 teams from across the Coastal Bend participated in the tournament, such as girls from Tolosa Midway, Gregory Portland, Flower Bluff, and more. Freshman Amelia Guevara from Ray played for Triple Trouble, and she was excited to get some reps in before the season.
I think it's really built my grit and determination, and it's taught me to keep pushing no matter what happens.
This tournament not only brings awareness to the sport and gives girls a chance to play the game, but it also raises funds for a good CC Rattlers cause.
A lot of the money will go towards scholarships when they graduate from high school. We want to make sure whether they're going for academics or volleyball, we want to have the opportunity to give all our seniors scholarship.
I'm Larissa Liska, Chris 6 Sports.
The Houston Astros and Washington Nationals faced off for Game 2 of their series. The Nationals struck first in the bottom of the first inning. James Wood hit a home run to right center field to give Washington the early lead, but the Astros quickly answered back. Nick Allen tied the game with a sacrifice fly that brought Walker home. Allen later hit a single to left field to score DeZenzo and Walker. Christian Vasquez added to the lead in the 6th inning with a single to right field. That hit brought DeZenzo home again to give the Astros a 5-2 lead. The Astros are now 2 games away from first place in their division.
The Texas Rangers scored 5 late runs to beat the Los Angeles Angels. The Angels took a 2-run lead in the first inning. The teams traded runs to reach a 3-3 tie in the 7th. The Rangers offense took the lead in the 8th inning, and Justin Fosk hit a RBI single to left field. Alejandro Osuna, he followed with a 3-run homer to right field. The Rangers scored 5 runs in the 8th to win 8-3. Lipedema, that's a chronic and progressive disease that mostly affects women and can lead to significant physical disability and pain.
So Mandy Gaither introduces us to a doctor whose mission is to change that.
For decades, Shannon Stevenson struggled with swelling in her right leg. At first, she blamed a past vascular procedure, but when it worsened, she sought out a doctor and learned it wasn't from the surgery After all,
I sort of was stunned. I didn't really know what he was talking about because I had never honestly heard of lipedema in all my training.
despite being a doctor at The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Stevenson says she didn't know anything about lipedema, and she's not alone. This 2025 study says the condition, which causes fat buildup under the skin, is under-recognized and insufficiently studied, despite an estimated 10% of women worldwide living with it.
The part that hurts is that I really wish I had known 20 years ago.
Lipedema symptoms include a buildup of fat that doesn't go away with a healthy diet, exercise, or other health interventions, an appearance of an ankle or wrist cuff, pain, tenderness, and heaviness in affected areas, fatigue, easy bruising, uneven dimpled skin, edema, and joint hypermobility.
Compression really helps with those symptoms throughout the day.
Along with specialized compression leggings that improve her circulation, Stevenson says lymphatic massage, certain diets, especially ones focused on anti-inflammatory foods, as well as certain types of exercise can also help.
If you feel like that this is your story and this is my body when I look at these photos, then go ahead and start treatment.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
Well, the surfing community is mourning the death of longtime surfer and surf shop owner Benjamin Liska. He passed away on July 1st. He opened Benjamin Surf and Skate back in 1976. Liska was recently honored by the Corpus Christi City Council.
Corpus Christi ISD named a new director of student health services ahead of the upcoming school year. Leah Watson replaces Veronica Sisk, who retired last month. CCISD returns to school on August 11th.
Kingsville ISD hosting a job fair today. They're hiring for all positions. It's going to take place over the Kingsville ISD boardroom at 3 this afternoon. And be prepared for on-site interviews.
The city of Corpus Christi will continue spraying for mosquitoes, and today they'll be on the south side near the Crosstown area and also in the Bay Area near the mall to the area of Airline and Ocean Drive.
The city of Corpus Christi is going to hold its third budget development input session this evening over the Corpus Christi Water Building. Meeting starts at 6 p.m. in the Choke Canyon Conference Room and is open to all residents.
Nara Organics whole milk organic powdered infant formula is being recalled after being linked to botulism. No deaths have been reported. The product was sold at Target and online, and those are your 6 things you need to know.
Well, getting another look at our Wednesday forecast as we're heading out there, expecting plenty of sunshine for most of us under those partly cloudy skies. Could still see a stray shower or two as we're heading into the afternoon. Either way, daytime high is going to be in the 90s for the majority of us and feeling the warmth as we're heading out there. Through the next few days, we could still see a couple of spotty showers tomorrow, but with some extra moisture working in by Friday into Saturday, we're expecting more of those scattered thunder showers back on the board with daytime highs in the 90s either way. We're hoping you have a great rest of your Wednesday.